Hi everyone, welcome to the channel, Sub Community Games. My name is Kenneth and I'm working on my first game. I've put together this very short time lapse where I used a very common tutorial by the one and only Bracky on his playlist How to Make a Game, aka Cubeathon. More than likely for half of us this was our first game that we made. So yeah, I'm literally just following the tutorial here because I'm a total beginner when it comes to coding, making games, and the works. I have however made a few small 3D games here and there for the past year or so, just for a hobby and for me to refine my skills. But I've always known that for my first game, I wanted to be online multiplayer, and the reason for that is because I believe games can teach all of us different and new things, as well as bring people together. That's why I started the studio and this channel. And yes, there are huge AAA game studios out there that have great games and bring people together in many different ways. Most of these companies, these AAA companies, are all in leagues of their own. Like, they're all the way on top there, they're the top dogs. And then they get the rest of us, like the indie game developers, the indie studios, one-person game studios, multiple-person indie game studios, and we're all in a category, if you think about it, a subcategory of the big community of games and game studios. I hope this makes sense to most of you. So yeah, as you can see here, I'm just literally following along with the tutorial. I've got the tutorial on my phone, sitting on my lap, and every few seconds or so when Bracky says to do this or follow along with this, I just sit there and I go away with it. So there's nothing unique or original here, except of course how I'm laying out the finish line, so to speak. I want it to be a visible finish line, but it's just a one day you're gonna have to run into it or fall into it to finish the game. And let's be honest, Bracky's tutorials are just too good not to use. He's always done well. And if I'm not mistaken, seeing one of Bracky's videos on how to make a game was the video that got me started into making games. After seeing that, I downloaded straight away Unity game engine and Microsoft Visual Studio, and I just went for it. I just started following as many tutorials as I could, learning as much as I could, and this is where it's gotten me today. So let's see if it's all paid off. So this game that I'm making now, I haven't decided on a name for it yet. I've just been calling it FPS Runner, so first person shooter / runner. Please, if any of you guys think of a better name for the game or a name for a game during the video or after the video, feel free to let me know down in the comments, and eventually I might even hold a vote for the best name of the game that you guys can all vote for. Also, I'll notify you when the game can be wishlisted on Steam. Things are going a bit slow right now because I still have a full-time job during the day, and eventually I'm hoping to go full-time on both YouTube and game development. And you guys can all help me out by hitting that subscribe button and clicking the like button to let me know if you liked it or not, and hitting the notification bell so you can get notified when I upload new videos. As far as game mechanics go, it's just gonna be a racing game, so to speak. Instead of cars, it's gonna be parkour, sort of like. And there will be weapons and things to pick up in the levels to help you get ahead of the other players. And if I haven't mentioned this, it is going to be a multiplayer online game. And the point is to get from point A to point B, as you can see, to the finish line. A lot of it's just sped up because I didn't want to make the videos too long for you guys, and there was nothing really important for me to show or to teach in the game. It's just a time lapse, like I said. So yes, there are going to be weapons in the game that you can pick up, and you can use them to shoot the other players, because that's what weapons are there for. But they're not going, so far I haven't decided if shooting other players is going to earn you points or anything. I haven't thought of a point system as yet. Maybe you guys can help out by letting me know in the comments, or going to my Instagram and posting comments there, or DMing me on Instagram. There is links in the description. And basically all the weapons are for at the moment is just to slow down the other players. So you want to get to the finish line, you want to go first, so you're going to want to slow down other players, but it's not going to turn into a all-out battle royale. There will be a hidden mechanism, so to speak, that will stop players from staying in one zone and just shooting each other, because the point is to get to the finish line as fast as possible. There is going to be a timer, so you can also have high scores, top scores. So if a lot of you are wondering why was my first game online, well, online I thought would be incredibly hard to make, but I found a tutorial by Blackthorn Prod on how to make an online game, and it was short, simple, to the point. Okay, that was the finish line. So the next thing I wanted to work on were the animations. I got the animations from Mixamo and they worked great. It's just certain aspects, like you'll see here, when you're holding the weapons, the hands are still moving, so I needed to try and fix that. I haven't quite fixed that yet, but there were a few other animations that I managed to fix, and like I said, the game is still in development. Like, there's still this, which I have no idea why it's doing that, but that's a problem for another time. For now, I'm just looking at the animations and the bugs and what to fix and how I can work on them. And I got a bit lazy. One of the easier animations that I thought I could fix was when the player runs, I noticed that they lean backwards for the animation. So the next thing to try and figure out was which bone was leaning forward and how can I fix that. So I eventually decided to make a new rig layer, and I'll parent the spine bone to this rig layer so that spine bone will constantly follow the target. So that should hopefully stop the character from leaning backwards when they run, because you don't lean backwards when you run forward, you lean forward. So I thought if I could at least get him to lean forward or lean upright, that would look a bit more natural and realistic. But I'm not going for a super realistic game. It's just going to be a fun, fast-paced running shooting game. So once I found the bone, I was happy with it. I used the animation rigging component to set it all up, and this is how it works. This is what we got, and that fixed the running animation, except for when running backwards. Now the character was trying to touch his toes, it looks like. So an easy fix for that was just decreasing the weight on the transform, and that fixed it like bombshell. Now it looks much better and not so weird. Now the next thing that was bugging me was the muzzle flash on the particle system for the weapons. And I know a lot of people have said that Unity's particle system is easy, but I just struggle for some reason. Like I found the particle system extremely hard. So I quickly jumped onto Google and asked Google for help on how to make a cool particle system muzzle flash. Yeah, and eventually I found my way to Unity Asset Store, and I picked up some Unity particle packs for muzzle flashes. And this one is easy to use. You just plug it in, set it up, and it comes with prefabs already made. So you just have to add in the prefab, set it to the duration that you want, and have a cartoon editor effect so you can make it look more cartoony. Trying to figure out how to get the particle system to work the way I wanted it to work and to look like it's part of the game. But I eventually got it to work, hooked it up to the game, to the guns, slapped it in, and boom, there's our particle system done. So now the next thing to add was a collision particle effect. So when you shoot and it hits the wall, the ground, another player, it plays another particle system to show the area that you've hit. And I already had some code set up for this. It was just a matter of implementing it and hooking it up. So with the particle packs that I got, they came with collision particles. So now it's just a matter of finding one that would fit for the game. And I had quite a few to choose from, and I was happy with all of them, but the one that really stuck out for me was the metal collision, because I figured since it's going to be robotish kind of characters running around, and I was really happy with the metal collision effect. So I found that, slapped it into the prefab section, so every time you shoot it emits a prefab, awesome, great, it was all set up. So now it's just a matter of testing it out, seeing how it looks. And it looked great, it's just the effect was too small to see, especially from a distance. Like, I know you're not going to see it from a great distance, but I wanted it to be a bit more visible. So I went ahead and tried to mess around with the editor that the package came with, and little did I realize that the multiplier was multiplying the effects over and over. It didn't reset and multiply from a given number. So eventually I had the particle system on something like, I think it was the scale was like 28 or something. So it looked more like there was a rocket launcher that shot and hit the wall. I didn't quite get a clear picture with it because my settings are just crap for the lighting and the visual. But eventually I managed to sort it out just by re-importing it, and instead of using the editor that the package came with, I just used the normal particle system editor and just played with the scale from there and got it working great after about 100 or so tries. So now you can see it works great with all the weapons. And so for the last and final part of this video, I added in a timer to the game. So it records your time on how long it took you to complete the race, which will all depend on your skills and the other players slowing you down. And at this point I was really tired, so I decided to head on over to Stack Overflow and copy and paste. Found an awesome script on Stack Overflow, implemented it, and boom, it was working just like that. Thank you for watching the video, and please don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. And if you didn't like the video, please let me know why in the comments so that I can improve and make the videos better and more entertaining in the future. I would really appreciate you guys' feedback, because after all, these videos are for you guys. And that's it. Till next time.